Alright. Let's see here. I'm late again as usual, guys. Woohoo! Or at least as of usual for lately. I woke up earlier, fell back asleep, woke up again, and was laying there wondering what time it was and fell back asleep. And then woke up again and was like, I really need to get up. And then saw the time and I was like, oh, right. It's 3:45. My ass is gonna be late. Because there's a process for me waking up, and it usually takes at least an hour. Today I was able to push it to about 40 minutes. Roughly. Alright. Let's get to it. Sorry, allergies were partly why I was having trouble sleeping. It's windy as shit. We've got the window open. It dropped down into the 70s. It's lovely, but it's gonna go back up to 90. I think for Saturday, and then they said we're gonna have another cold front slam through. Right after that. And then they're saying it's supposed to be more fall-like for a little bit. That would be nice to give the air conditioner and the electric bill a rest. As much as we ever can. It would be a little bit nice. Oh, so I got our styrofoam base wrapped, the edge. I got that wrapped for our gingerbread project. And I've laid out where the tree's gonna sit and where the house is gonna sit. Now I just have to finish prepping the rest of the base with our quote-unquote snow that everything is gonna sit on. So still got a ways to go on that, but we've got the planning of our house and things to work on stream this week. I mean, we could do the tree first, but I don't know. Not sure what we're gonna work on first. House, tree, all of the things planning. We'll probably do all of the things planning on paper. And then maybe start to transfer things over. Alright, but today we're working on Wild Challenges, Bloodthirsty Challenge leveling, and Working Man leveling. But we're gonna kick things off with the Bloodthirsty. As we do. Because between the two, the Working Man's gonna be a bit more time consuming. So we'll start off with the blood first. Now we are currently 57. Sometimes I try to interrupt that, sometimes I forget. Sometimes I'm just not fast enough. Like I'm not paying attention. But okay. But yeah, we are level 57, sorry, got distracted. We are working our way towards level 58. And we'll see how it goes. I've gotten very few greens this level. Not terribly unheard of, but with the amount of mobs I've killed, I'm kind of surprised. Only got 2. Only got 2. Kind of thought there'd be at least a couple of more there, and RNG just didn't want to roll that way, but you know, what can you do? This is my horde character, or one of the horde characters anyway, so it's not like I can take their money and go to auction house and buy a token anyhow. All of my money is on the Alliance side, but I think the only time it pulls from both is if you don't have a sub at all currently, and it asks you if you want to do that, if you have the gold to do it. Then I think it pulls from everywhere as evenly as it can across your account. But what are we sitting at anyway? We're at 3,600 on this character. Doubt we're going to be making anywhere near token money. Excuse me, especially with the price the token's at right now. But, you know, what can you do? Excuse me. So I was actually getting a little nervous last night about the quantity of white yarn I had left, and I was like, oh. Well, we may need to pick up an emergency bundle of white yarn from Walmart. Because I really don't want to go all the way to Joann's for one ball of yarn. That's probably going to be the same price as just getting it at Walmart, so I don't know yet for sure. Kind of depends on how putting our snow down on the base goes, but I'm a little concerned. I was gonna pick up an extra white when we were at Joann's, and I was like, no, I'm probably overestimating how much white I'm gonna need, and well, you know, now I'm kind of kicking myself that I didn't think I'd gone through that much white, but what can you do? We're gonna have to finish putting white on the base, and then there's gonna be white outlining for like the icing on the house itself. I don't know, this is gonna be a close one, I think. Everybody else, I'm pretty sure we're looking good on color-wise. And I did advance through the Bob Ross tutorial list for Season 3, and now I'm really having doubts about the next 2 in a row. I'm concerned I'm not going to be able to pull them off. I mean, the one more so than the other. Maybe it's just my my "you're not good enough" voice just eating away at me, but I mean, we can try it, right? Like, what's the worst that can happen? It doesn't do. So I mean, I might have to change some colors around. That is a distinct possibility. Because the one is actually, well, they're both, the one kind of leans to a gray scale, right? And the other one kind of leans to a pink scale with a few other oddball colors thrown in, but I don't have that many shades in pink, and I don't have that many shades in gray. And it's not like paint where you can just, you know, adjust. So, I might have to pull the one out of the pink scale a little bit. It's gonna be tricky. Definitely gonna be tricky. I probably will take the time that we are working on the gingerbread project to sketch out these next two. To try to see how I want to handle it. And I really only have 2 shades of brown. I might have to delve into the roving bag and see excuse me, and see what our options are in there. But yeah, I don't know if I was planning, I think the pink one I was planning on skipping, to be perfectly honest. Because I knew when I was originally looking at this season that there was going to be a couple. I knew I believe this is the campfire season. I thought it was the campfire season. Wasn't gonna work. I remembered being a little concerned about the lighthouse, but still thinking we could do it. But I remember distinctly there was a couple where I was like, oh yeah, I don't think we're gonna be able to translate that over to the needle felting, so we'll just have to skip those. So then the next one in the tutorial series for season 3, he uses liquid black on, and he like hardly ever uses liquid black, right? And I'm just like, really, Bob? So he puts that on, and then he like goes to town with like making grays, and then it's a whole ass a lot going on there. So I'm just like, okay. So I'm trying to figure out how to approach this one. We might go a little bit smaller on that one. I don't know if we're gonna embroidery hoop that one or if we're gonna just do like a 5x7. I got to think about that. No, you come back in range, my friend. I don't want to go all the way over there. There we go. So we're getting 1108 this level on these mobs. Sometimes it helps to be a troll just to get that little extra bit of XP from the racial ability. I mean, I know it's only a 20% bonus, so it's not like it's groundbreaking, but every little bit helps when you're on a bloodthirsty, right? You'll take every last drop of extra legal XP. Take it anywhere you can get it. Rested? Absolutely. Winds of Wisdom, when it's in effect, all of it. Give it to me. You know. Bonus XP on the troll. Yeah, sure. I'm not really a fan of trolls, and I don't know. I have a harder time playing on the Horde side than I do the Alliance. I'm not sure why. Probably because most of the races are tall, and I like my characters a little bit smaller. I mean, yeah, there's goblins, but they're a bitch to get out of the starting area as a challenger. I think I tried one to reroll as a goblin not that long ago. Like, I guess maybe since Shadowlands. And I didn't get out of the starting area. The stupid... I got 2/3 of the way through, and it was getting near to being able to get off of the damn islands, and I hit a section where you're in these, like, fighter planes, and you're, like, out over a beach, and you're trying to shoot down the other planes, and they're shooting at you, and they got some really damn good hits on me, and I did not expect that, because any other time I've managed to get through there and never had a problem. But they actually got me out of the plane, and I hit the ground and died. And I was like, are you fucking serious? So, I got mad, and I'm like, yeah, no, fuck this shit. So, yeah. So I ended up doing a different race, but I'm not that confident on the Horde side. Like, all of the Horde races are pretty tall. I mean, you got the Tauren, you've got these guys. The Blood Elves are, you know, elfy tall. The Orcs are still taller than Gnomes. I don't know, I'm not really a fan of Orcs. And then the Undead are tall too. I mean, everybody's got a decent ground height on them. I think the only short race on the Horde side are the Goblins. Well, and the Volpira, but they're an allied race, and I don't have them unlocked. And, for this I was doing base races. And all of the classes in the game up to this point. So, I mean, we weren't already going to do the write-up on the Demon Hunter or the Death Knight, because they didn't start at level 1. I just didn't want to throw a allied race into the mix. And then I would have had to actually, you know, figure out how the fuck to unlock the Volpira, because I don't know how. I probably wouldn't mind having one. I just never went to the trouble of figuring it out. I mean, I inadvertently ended up with Nightborn unlocked. And I ended up with the High Mountain Tauren unlocked. She's using their mount. And I have the Mecha Gnomes unlocked, which the husband had to help me with, because at the time you had to do the dungeon. I don't know if you still have to or not, but there was a dungeon you did have to do, and I had done everything up to the dungeon and then found out that you were forced into the dungeon, and I was like, are you fucking shitting me? And at that point I was like boycotting dungeons, so I was like, I really don't want to do a dungeon. Because they were in a pretty toxic state at the moment, and I hadn't done any of the dungeons for that expansion, so I didn't know which way was up. but, excuse me. But he helped me get that. So I don't have the Coltiran unlocked or the Vulpera. I feel like there's somebody else I don't have unlocked too, but oh, and the Magar orcs. I don't have them unlocked either. But I mean, that's not that much of a surprise. I'm really not on the reward side all that much. Hey Red, how are you? Going alright. I was tired. I don't think I fell asleep till almost 7 a.m. this morning. I still haven't quite woken up yet. The caffeine hasn't kicked in fully. I don't know if it's going to. I think I've had so much caffeine in my system over the years that it doesn't feel like it does anything anymore. It's only really there to keep the caffeine headache from starting. That's all it is. That caffeine withdrawal headache's a bitch. Do you know what the Night Elf starting area looks like in the new expansion? The Night Elf starting area? It should look the same. I didn't think they changed it. I can go and look. As far as I know... Yeah, I don't think they changed it. I mean, there's still stuff from Cataclysm where they never fixed, so... I didn't see any information from anybody gushing about the island being fixed or at least, you know, the tree not being on fire anymore. So I'm gonna imagine it's the same status quo for people playing through the storyline and through the expansions. So I think the beginnings, like the 1 to whatever, is still normal. And then, you know, I think the tree gets burnt down. But I've only been looking at the Dragonflight stuff. I was on a level 1 gnome that I leveled up to 15 as a bloodthirsty. In hindsight, I could have just quested and made it go 6 times faster, but I wanted to see what happened when the talents unlocked. And how that whole thing played out. Because if you don't pick a spec at 10, at 15 it'll say talents available, but you can't see the talent trees until you take a spec. Like the talent tab doesn't show up on the spec tab. And let me see. This is all a little different too. This is much smaller in the new UI. At least I think it is. I'm trying to remember. It looks different. There's different icons here. In the other one. So this doesn't look like this. And this doesn't look like this either. This takes up like 2/3 of the screen. I'm gonna have to do screenshots. We're doing a UI episode on the show soon. No show this week. Next week's Azzy. The following week is another guest. And then Lita and I are doing another beta visit, and then we're doing a UI show. If we have time. Our talents line no. as of right now. I don't believe Lita's planning on allowing them. We haven't really looked at the data yet from everybody's thoughts. The main thing is that you're extremely scaled down in your abilities without the talent tree. Because they took most of the bulk of the abilities and shoved them in the new trees, right? Because there's two trees. There's two talent trees. One is for your class, and then the other talent tree is for your specialization. So, when you hit 15, the talent trees unlock. And they give you, like, automatically there's a couple of things open on the talent tree that they've given you. But it doesn't look like they put points in it. It just looks like, oh, here, we've unlocked this for you. This spell is available. Because I was looking at how many talent points you had and how many had been spent to try to figure out if it looked like this was going to be a problem since they were giving you a couple for free. But I don't think those count as points spent, so I don't think that will be a big deal. So I still think you're going to be able to take a spec. Now when you pick a specialization, you get a couple more abilities. Not many, depends on your class. But it feels like if you played Iron Man before Legion, before specs were allowed, it kind of feels like that. And I know there's not too many of the long-term WoW challenges veterans around, but there's a few. So they'll understand what I mean when I say that. So like on a priest I had like 4 abilities. I don't know what the other races look like. Haven't really gotten in there yet, but I think I think it might be doable. We've had somebody poking around on a hunter. We've had you know, a couple of people. We only have like 5 people on the test team, and life has happened. So I've been needing to take care of extra stuff this week because my dad was in the hospital. So it's been a whirlwind of just shit happening and going sideways as we're trying to get in there. But I think pacifists will be viable. Pacifists aren't going to need talents anyway. But I don't think talents will be allowed. As of right now, the last time, I mean, she hasn't really talked to me about her plans for Dragonflight yet. I don't think she's really sat down and had the time to really absorb everything that we've been putting in the docs. That'll probably come closer to launch. But as of right this moment, I think the answer is no. Or it's leaning towards no. It depends on what she's had time to look at, I mean, and how she's been feeling playing through. I mean, I was killing stuff in one of the zones without talents, and I was fine. But it was also a class I knew, so I could work with what I had. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I'm pretty sure specs are going to be still allowed, so that will get you, like, the first couple of bonus spells that they give you for free when you take that specialization. Because disallowing specs at this point would be a goddamn nightmare for Zaya. So, oh my god, the amount of grandfathering in. I can only imagine That would probably be like a fucking 1,000 lines of code across all of the challenges. I can only imagine. We still haven't made a decision on Evoker. Though, based off the husband's playthrough, doesn't really look viable for Iron Man. I don't think you're going to be able to get out of the starting zone. I don't know if she's gonna bother allowing Evoker for the green gear challenges. I'll probably try to take one last look at them for her to see if anything looks different. When we get a little closer to the last beta show we're gonna do, or the next beta show we're gonna do. They're squishy. With no gear on, they're squishy. They're a hero class, so their starting zone is a bitch. They make the Demon Hunter starting zone look like a cakewalk. 'Cause, damn. There's, now it could just be beta being beta, again. Final decisions might not be made till, like, the week that the expansion goes live, and we get in there and actually look how things are behaving on live. Because things won't be ready on the trackers day one. I highly doubt it. Don't expect it. But the husband, there was no gray gear vendor in the starting crush area for the evokers at the time the husband went through. So he had no armor, no weapon. It took him almost 10 to 15 minutes to kill one mob that was like an insignificant mob in there. Another mob he had picked a fight with was a little bit, it would have counted for the quest that he needed to do to get out of there, but they were a bit beefier, they were a bit stronger, and that fight was a stalemate. It would have ended up killing him, so he just let it kill him so he could get out of the fight, because it wasn't going anywhere. He never was able to not heal himself. Like, he got one shot in, and then it was like 2 minutes of healing himself before he even had a chance of trying to get another hit in. Could be beta being beta? Maybe, but it was really frustrating trying to play as an iron to try to get out of there. And so that was one death where he did it on purpose just to get out of the fight, because it was gonna inevitably end up in a death anyway. And that was like the first quest, second quest in the starting area. Next was, the next big problem was there's a scripted fight. Semi-scripted fight, put it that way. There's a couple of NPCs that are in there with you that are trying to guide you and direct you on how to get out of there and what you need to do, giving you your quests and stuff. The last big fight to get out of the first part of the starting zone, where you're in, like, they keep calling it a crush. It's kind of like these caves that they were living in. And nests and things. The NPCs charge in with you to fight a gold dragon elite. Now, when I originally looked at it, I'm trying to remember, because I didn't watch the husband's full playthrough. I was just kind of looking over his shoulder every so often, because I was in the middle of doing something else. I feel like the Gold Dragon Elite was not at full health when you entered the fight with the NPCs, but those NPCs really didn't do shit. They just kind of stood there and tickled it, or sneezed at it, and now, I don't know if it's going to be different if there's more players in there. I know when I did my first playthrough of that particular fight, which was before the husband's, a couple weeks before, half the time I was trying to heal myself, and I didn't really have time to do much damage to him. And you had to keep dodging out of the way, and it was a whole lot to deal with, number one. And it that fight was rough. And I had green gear on, because I was looking at it from, you know, could a bloodthirsty get out of here? He was looking at it from, could an iron get out of here? I don't think he had too much trouble in the second half that he told me about. The first half, the problem seems to be just getting out of the crush. Would that be different with more players around? I'm not sure. But then, you know, you'd be having to kind of go against the no help rule and be like tagging shit on the side in order to attempt to get out of there. And I don't know how phased it's gonna be, to be perfectly honest. It's tough to tell that in beta. And because they're a hero class, I'm not sure if you're gonna be restricted to only one on your server. I don't know. I don't know how they're gonna rule that, because when Death Knights first came out, you could only have one for a certain amount of time, and then they relaxed that rule. And then when Demon Hunters first came out, like, you could only have, like, I think, was it only one for a little while? But when the Demon Hunters came out, they started at 98, right? And max was 110. So you had to purposely go and kill extra mobs before it would even let you register on the list. Because, now this was like Stone's old site. It would tell you that you have a flag for kills, or it would automatically yellow flag you. So, like, you had to go and find green mobs to kill. So I don't know. I don't know if it's worth all the trouble to allow them at all when they start so high at this point. I mean, max is going to be 70, right? What level are they starting at? 58, I think. My personal feelings are, fuck it, just don't allow them. This is going to be a whole huge pain in the ass. And irons aren't going to be able to do it. Working man aren't going to be able to do it. You're definitely not going to be able to be a pacifist, because you must kill to get out of there. It's just not possible on a pacifist. The only two that would really have a shot would be Green Man and Bloodthirsty. And at that point, Bloodthirsty is a Green Man, because you have to quest to get out of the starting area. So I don't know. I don't know what she's going to do about that. I just don't know. But it is interesting. I'm going to take another look at them. Like I said, we've got another Beta Thoughts show coming up. I need to look a little bit deeper into professions. I was trying to read a little bit about them. on Wowhead, but the article was a couple weeks old, and I might need to actually fully level a gathering profession and then see. We'll have to take a look. Yeah, I don't think my personal feelings are just don't allow them. It's a lot of coding work to put them in for only 2 challenges to be allowed to do them. Because I really don't think it's feasible at this point on beta to get out of there as an iron. If you guys have if you guys have beta access, if you guys have PTR access, by all means, go ahead and try it and let me know your thoughts. You can find me in the WoW Challenges Discord, or you can find me on Twitter. Twitter's at NiseyBGN, same as the channel here, and WoW Challenges Discord is Nisey without the BGN, but it's phonetically spelled in parentheses, so it's hard to miss me. I'm the only Nisey mod in the WoW Challenges Discord. But I mean, if I'd love to know your guys' opinions on it, because right now I don't think Lita's done a full playthrough on the Evoker starting area that I'm aware of. She had tried it when she first got in there, and I don't think she's had time to revisit. Husband did it, and I know my thoughts from watching him, or watching most of his attempt. And I know my thoughts from me in Green Gear. But I mean, we like to allow as much as we can. I just don't think it makes sense to allow them right now. Content gets older. Yeah, like maybe later, you know? I think they start at 58. So Demon Hunter and Death Knight are in separate groups. Is that changing? Don't know at what level they start at. As far as I know, they're remaining at the starting levels they started at for Shadowlands, which is, oh, let me think about this now. Demon Hunter started at level 8? I don't know what level Death Knights start at. We can check real quick. It might be 8 as well. As soon as we ding, when we go to swap, because we're going to ding here in a minute. As soon as we swap over to the Working Man, we'll look real quick to verify the Death Knight. But I'm pretty sure Demon Hunter started at 8, because I had to re-roll for Shadowlands after Sold My Soul got flagged on Threads of Fate. So, yeah, like maybe later on, after the dust starts to settle and we've seen how it's playing through a bit, you know, maybe they'll, there's the day, maybe they'll, have some readjustments made at that point. Reduces damage taken by an additional 10. Okay, more, is this shield wall? Okay, so that's a big cooldown. Okay. But, you know, I'm usually a big champion for, no, let's allow this. Or I don't see any reason why we shouldn't allow X. I was one of the main driving forces for all of those quests being allowed for them all, because there was no other way for Bloodthirsties to get through it for Shadowlands, and the skip hadn't been put in yet. I don't think you're gonna have to... these shoulders. As of right now, it's looking like you don't have to do the quests to get into the Dragon Isles. I broke my beta trying to do that. I was getting the list of the quests for Lita, or at least for that character, it broke beta. Let me put it that way. And I got the quest list because I was trying to see if you're gonna have to kill anything, because it was sort of multi-challenge investigation. Because, you know, if we had to kill anything, then pacifists were gonna have a hard time getting out there. So I just wanted to see. So I was writing down all of the quest names and what number quest I was on for doing the things, and it was mostly just flying around Stormwind and talking to X, and then talking to this person, and then watching a cutscene, and then talking to that person, and then watching a cutscene. It was busy. Go talk to you. Go talk to this person. Go away. Go talk to that person. And then they put you on the dock, and I was like, oh, okay. And then the boat showed up. Got on the boat. Went out there. Got into, what is it, Waking Shore, I think? No, that might be Legion. Whatever the fuck it is, the first zone when you get out there and off the boat. Why does that feel like that's the same name of the starting area for Legion now? I've been having this thought reoccurring. Wasn't Waking Shore the Legion starting zone if you didn't do the skip? Or was that Draenor? One of them had a thing. It might be Draenor. Somebody had a thing, and now I'm thinking that that's the same name. Broken Shore. Okay. Similar. My brain gets confused. I mean, who wouldn't? This many expansions in and this much information I'm trying to hold up here. Okay, thank you. I'm muddled on a good day, but yeah, so I got off the boat, and, you know, then they wanted me to go talk to so-and-so to keep the quest chain going and then to start questing out there. Well, I happened to think about something, and I was like, oh, well, okay, I mean, I'm out here now, I don't need to go any further with the questing. So I hearthed back to Stormwind to do something. And I was like, alright, let me head back out into Dragon Isles, and now let me look at this. So I ran down the dock to where the boat was. I heard the ding, 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 and there was no boat, and I was like, okay. And I stood there for almost 5 minutes, and there was no boat. There was no Dragon Isle NPCs, and I was like, okay. And I was like, well, somebody talked about a portal or something, but I don't know if I have to open it. So I went back to the Mage Tower. Portal was there, but it was under construction. So I was like, alright. So I flew back and was hovering over Lion's Rest, and I saw the boat at the dock. I'm like, oh, there's the boat. Hit Stormwind Harbor as I entered the zone, and the boat vanished, and all of the people fell off the boat into the water, and then they vanished. And I'm like, oh no, it's the Borealis phasing boat bug again. Oh no. Fuck. She still can't see the boat, as the last time I checked on her, which was like a week ago. Boat's still not showing up for her. She can't get back to Dragon Isles. She's dead in the water. She can't do anything. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, what? I sure as hell submitted a bug report on that. 'Cause she doesn't have another way to maneuver in beta. Like, they really want you working on the new stuff, so it's really difficult to try to go back and do the old stuff. And since it's beta, it's a clean slate, right? So I was like, oh, well, let me go grab my Legion Hearthstone on the next character I rolled. So that way, when it happened again, I had a way to get out of the area, and I was just going to set my Hearthstone. I was going to use the old workaround for portal hopping. So you set your Hearthstone to the new area, then you use your Legion Darlaran Hearthstone to get you to a Stormwind portal, and then you use the Stormwind portal to, you know, get Stormwind and go do what you need, and then you can hearth your regular Hearthstone back to the new area, you know, that sort of round robin Hearthstone roulette thing. Except they wanted me to do the complete intro to get the Legion Hearthstone, and I'm like, I'm not spending 2 hours on this. Fuck this. So I was just like, well, fuck. You're pretty sure you had a guy managed to bug himself out of the Shadowlands intro just this week. If you'd hearth back to Stormwind at the wrong quest, you were goofed. Yeah, like, it's, like, I'm like, sure, only I would find this bug. And, Two Shanks replicated the bug. It happened to him as well. So, like, if you didn't quest far enough into Dragon Isles and hearthed back, you couldn't get the boat back. And I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Where's the boat? I ought to be able to get the boat back at any time. It didn't make any sense. Like, none of the Dragon Isle people were there. So I made sure I left that bug report, which really pissed me off because that was one of the days where they wiped the UI, because they added some more stuff in, and I had spent about 20 minutes fighting with the UI setup to get it to where I wanted it to be, and then the quest log, like this over here, you can't, as of right now, I haven't been in there this week, I know I saw something about UI changes, as of last week when I was in there, this can't be moved. These can, the two sidebars, if I tried to move them, though, on one of, like, the versions of it, the quest objective log slid underneath the bars. And then if there was any buttons, like, on the end of the quest that you would need to hit, you couldn't hit them because this shit was sitting over top of them. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I was just so mad. And I was fighting through a migraine at the same time. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I ended up putting in a bug report about not being able to move this. Now I have Bagnon, so I'm gonna move this. But Bagnon lets you move your bags around. Base UI right now, there is a button to combine all of your bags into one bag. However, you can't move it. So it sits above where your backpack is. And when they start you out in beta, you've got, like, what is it? 32 slot bags, I think. You've got a decent number of bags. So your bag screen goes up to maybe just under where the buffs are. If you have combine all into one bag, you can't move it. It's locked. So you can't see your quests. You can't see your sidebars here. You can barely see half the minimap. And I think, does it sit, like, it's pretty far down low. And it's like, what? Now, I don't have a cell phone connected to my WoW. Husband and I have a cell phone between us, and he uses it mostly. We don't have money for me to have one, and I'm always with him, so it makes no sense to waste money on a cell phone that we don't need, right? So because I don't have the SIM attachment to my account, I have an authenticator, I just don't have the SIM. Those 4 extra bags they give you for doing the SIM, at the top of your bag, which would be the last 4 slots of your backpack. So right where this is, 1, 2, 3, 4, except the way the bags are spaced, it goes 2 here and 2 here have locks on them in the middle of your inventory. Now, I'm sure they did that on purpose to try to encourage you to unlock it because you're annoyed. But it really annoyed me because I wasn't going to be able to unlock it. And I'm like, really? We're going to do this now? So Lita and I have lots of thoughts about this new UI. Not all of them are good. We're really kerfluffled over this new UI setup. And it doesn't seem to matter what version of the UI you put yourself on. I mean, the bag UI issue doesn't matter about your bar UI. They're different. It's just infuriating. You level the tune to 50 with time walking to dungeons. Time walking dungeons to 60. Use the mage portal to Oribos. Set your heart there, and then you realize you're literally locked into the city at 60. Yeah, no, like, I was thinking, oh, I won't need a bag add-on anymore, but, yeah, no, I'm gonna have to, like, Bagnon, you don't see it. It's not there, so it's not an issue. So I'm gonna still keep going with Bagnon. Hopefully they, update for Dragonflight. I'm gonna be taking a break from WoW, though, as soon as we complete this bloodthirsty mission, because this has been a mission I've been trying to complete for some time through a couple different expansions, and I'm finally gonna get there, or at least it looks like I'm finally gonna get there. Nothing's done until it's done. We all know shit happens, but we've got 2 levels to go now, so as long as I pay attention to what I'm doing and take it slow, should be alright. But I'll still be helping Lita. I'll still be doing all of my WoW challenges, stuff that I need to do. I'll still be looking at beta for her. We just won't be actively playing WoW on stream. We'll be looking at Coral Island. I'm getting access to that right, I think the week after we finish this, so it kind of works out pretty good. So, WoW challenges, bloodthirsty. I mean, I have an iron or 2. I really don't want to take her into Shadowlands to do the same, like, 3 world quests when they pop up. And I don't know. Iron's just not my thing. It stresses me out. WoW challenges, bloodthirsty. Control your soul. There's a reason why I only leveled that contest hunter to like 27 or something. What's that snapping noise?
Your mom trying to open something.
Okay. And shit. Oh yeah, so like iron's just not my thing. Like that quick, I forgot what the fuck I was in the middle of saying. Doesn't take much to derail me. Just this odd popping noise in the background was very distracting. Yeah, so I mean bloodthirsty is more my thing, and this is the last class I have to get, and it's been exhausting leveling through Shadowlands. I'm not gonna play. It's been tough. Slash played. It vanished. I am burnt the fuck out, and I need a break. I don't know when I'm gonna be coming back to WoW. Depends also on our budget. We need a month or 2 of not having to worry about paying for WoW. Because we are still trying to, we're still going through the battle of the husband trying to get disability. And we're still in a holding pattern on that. Really? It feels like that should be higher. But, he had an interview with somebody almost a month ago. They were supposed to submit a report, and we haven't heard anything since. So, I don't know. I don't know when we're supposed to hear something. If it gets to be the beginning of October, we might try to contact the lawyer and be like, hey, Have you heard anything? So, I mean, I guess the 18 gold repair bill. I'm actually kind of surprised we didn't get the little yellow gear person to show up. So we don't have a whole lot, so I'm just going to do this all as one vendor sweep here. There we go, that's better. Alright, so we ended up with 17 slumber powders off of those guys, which isn't bad. I mean, you know, 247. And we were just under 200 patterned wings. And we'll just go ahead and vendor those, because this shit's just not selling for me. I don't know how other people are getting it to sell at these ridiculous prices. So that was 560. So not one of the better vendor levels we've had, but, you know, it's something. Let's go double check that. DK. I'm just gonna, like, completely randomize this just to say level 8. So, yeah. So, Demon Hunter and Death Knight both at level 8. So, then, the evokers would have to be on their own list as well. On their own page. Where are we? Okay, so we are on to the working man now. Let me go find my header here. So people don't think that bloodthirsties can do what I'm about to do. There we go. That would be bad. It would be very bad. No, this is working man. I have it phrased as bonus working man leveling because I never know if I'm gonna have time to get to them. Depends on what's going on in the house. But my dad came home from the hospital today. They couldn't, the tests they needed to do, they couldn't do in its entirety because he was told to never, ever, 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 ever have that test done again because he would most likely not survive having that test done again. So they couldn't do that test to the full extent that they would have needed to 100% verify the things, I guess. So they're not 100% certain on what caused the issue that sent him to the emergency room to begin with. They believe they know what it was, but they're not, like, 100% sure. I think they're, like, at about 75 to 80% sure. And told him if it happens again, to come back again so that they can monitor his blood level to make sure he doesn't need a transfusion. So that's fun. Not really, that was sarcasm. It's always something. What can I tell you? Where is this? What is this? Can I even get to this? Oh, we can get to this. So this is the working man. I'm not spec'd on the working man. I saw no point, to be perfectly honest. I was killing stuff till about level 15, and then I kind of just went and started gathering. And I'm still green flagged, so that's something. I really only made this one to try to make some money. I really want that, but that's a little too close to that Foxy, so we're gonna have to walk away from that one. Because I'm still in my starting gear. I think I have a cape on from one of the quests in the gnome starting area, but that's about it. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm sorry I didn't get any beta testing done this week, you guys. It's been a shit show of a week. In more ways than one. Sorry, a really bad joke at part of what was happening around here this week. So, if you know, you know. But, so, yeah, I was not mentally in a space where we could go and start taking notes in beta. There's no show this week, so I should be able to get the warrior ready in a fairly timely manner for next week. And then maybe I can sit down and get back into beta a little bit and see what's happening. See about getting screenshots together. I'm hesitant to take them too early because I don't know if the UI is going to change again. I guess I can take them and then pop back in closer to the show we're going to do on the UI. And so that way, if you guys haven't seen it yet, I would have greatly appreciated a heads up on what I was walking into that UI. 'Cause damn. I mean, if you use, what is it, Xpearl unit frames or bartender or whatever, then it's probably not going to be a big deal for you. I play on the default. I don't have the patience to deal with all of the UI mods and all of the things. I just don't. I've tried it. All it does is piss me off. And, because I no sooner get it to where I'm happy with it, and then there's a patch or something, and it breaks the mod or the add-on again, and I'm just like, motherfucker, fuck it. I'm just gonna go on default. The less running, the better. And, so, you know. I was not mentally prepared for that. No. And the UI menus are very different to what you're looking at now. Oh, see, there I go again. I'm in such a bloodthirsty mode, I was gonna line up to go after that moth. Caught myself doing that the one day I actually had the mob, clicked on. Alright, that's gonna have to sit there, because I'm not gonna be able to take that Larian. That Larian's gonna sneeze, and I'm just gonna collapse. Because, you know, these guys over here are level 60. And I only have 6,000 health, so, you know, that's a thing. But, so what challenges are you guys working on? Are you working on any? What you up to? How's your week been? Hope it's been better than mine. Mine's been a blur. Can I get you? I think I can get you. I don't think there's any foxes right here. I'm so paranoid over these foxes that phase, that stealth. Phase is not the right word, stealth is. Because there's a hill over near Aspirant's Rest. As you're on the road, like, running towards Hero's Rest. And it looks like a completely empty field, and then, you know, you're like, oh, let me go do this, and then all of a sudden you're being ripped to shreds by a fox that just unstealthed next to you, that was hostile. So I'm a little gun shy about areas where I'm like, there's something here, right? Even though I can't see it. Alright, so So we are rested, so this hopefully won't be too bad, although we haven't come across that many. I want you, but you're right there, and I don't want to get involved in that mess. Just don't. But professions look a little scary this time out for this expansion. No hostile mobs spawned in at the time that I was looting them, mining, flower picking. But the fact that some of these flower nodes are going to do special things, that's a little daunting. Oh, you two are right next to each other. Well, that sucks. That was a rich lace, I call it lastrite, or I don't know if that's what it's really called, but that's what I call it. That was a rich ore vein there, too. So yeah, they've really ramped up the layers on professions for Dragonflight, it would seem. I'd completely forgotten, with everything else going on, that they were making it so that you could do like bulletin board order requests on Auction House. Like, you put the mats in for the thing that you want made and how much you're willing to pay the person to make the thing, and then somebody can pick it up off of Auction House and make you the thing. I'm not quite sure how all that's gonna work to keep people to send you the thing. Maybe if they don't send you, maybe you don't get the money till you send the thing. I don't know how that works. Haven't delved that deep yet. 'Cause, you know, even though we are doing beta testing for you guys, doesn't mean that we really want all of the mysteries and excitement of a new expansion destroyed. I mean, we're trying to do what we can. I haven't done any meaningful quests at all. I did the like 8 in Stormwind, and that was it. And that was only because I didn't know that I didn't have to do them. Two Shanks thankfully had thought to test that. I didn't even think about it. But that's certainly helpful to know that we don't have to do those. I saw something mention renown while I was putzing around out there. Maybe it was one of the trainers or something. I don't know. I saw something refer to renown, so I'm like, oh, we're still with the renown, huh? So I don't know what's gonna go on there. We need to go back and look at world quests because we found something that was concerning involving those, or at least Two Shanks did. I don't know if he's had the chance to go back and look at that yet and revisit it. I guess one of us is gonna have to. Ooh, excuse me. Damn, that caffeine's taking its sweet time. If it's gonna do anything today. It might not. I'm just in a perpetual state of constantly tired. Do you guys wake up feeling refreshed? Do you? Is this a thing that people experience? 'Cause I don't. I never feel like I've slept when I wake up. Never. I think I remember experiencing it once. Exactly once. And it was some number of years ago. Unless it was a figment of my imagination. But fuck all if I'm not constantly tired. Alright. Let's see. Oh goodness, we're only 3 bars in. Oof. Alright. Probably should have did some pre-stream gathering on this one, but I didn't. I mean, there's usually a good handful up here that we can get. Usually. I've seen a couple people out here today. That's encouraging. It's better than seeing no one. Because there's times where I've seen nobody out here, and then I start to feel funny, like, am I even supposed to be here? Like, it feels like you're in, like, a restricted, closed down part of a building or something when you see nobody out here, especially at a time where you normally do see people, like time of day.
Ow! God,
what happened?
Oh. I stepped on a plate and then freaked out and then sliced me. Damn it.
I was gonna say, it can't...
It's alright.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Do you need a band-aid or anything?
No.
Alright. I was gonna say, it didn't sound like the plate broke. I thought it, like, hit your foot or something. Oh, that's what we were supposed to do yesterday and we didn't. Or was it today? We need to do a nail roundup on everybody. I can't remember what day we talked about doing that, but... Cats need the little daggers taken off the ends of their nails. Dogs need their nails checked.
Hello?
All of the things. All of it. God, I can't believe it's like the end of September already. What the fuck happened? It feels like it was just Labor Day. What the hell? I see you. But... oh, you're over there. I'm gonna let that one be. Because usually there's some hostile Larians. I'm probably not saying that right. Larians? Larians? Probably Larians. We're not getting that one because this is the field of foxes that like to stealth. Bastards. Yeah, watch yourselves if you go in here. It looks like a completely perfectly benign field. It's not. It's very much not. There are some stealthy ass hostile foxes in there that want nothing more than to shred your face. I'm gonna grab this one real quick just because I see it. I'm gonna quickly back away. That was closer than I really wanted to be. Alright, so we got something up here. Oh, selenium. Grab that. Oh, 7. Nice. Now those are the numbers I was more used to seeing. Don't forget, if you come out here, train your professions. I really thought I had. And I felt so stupid afterwards. When I finally realized that that was what the problem was. Because I Googled and forum searched. Wasn't seeing anybody bitch about this. And I was like, somebody would have had to have been bitching. No, it was my dumbass. That name reminds me of Azzy. Pretty sure it's not Azzy, but he usually plays on Wormrust. And I don't cross with, excuse me, I don't cross with Wormrust, so. It's like one of the only servers that doesn't cross with this one. Bad enough there's like 7 servers connected to this now. It started out as 2. And the next thing I knew, there was like 7 effing servers attached to this one. I don't even know all the names. I'd have to look it up again. It's like, this is kind of ridiculous. Alright, let's grab this guy. Oh, there's 2 here. Oh, another selenium. The only bad thing that... Oh god, I can only imagine how trade goods are gonna go on the auction house now that they've got them set up where quote-unquote commodities are region-wide now. Because the prices I've seen on ore right now is grossly low, with everybody fighting to undercut each other. They're not even paying attention to how much they're putting it up for. And some price points just aren't worth it. But when Dragonflight launches, those mats are either going to be obscenely high or get knocked down to obscenely low. I can only imagine. I mean, we still had Death Blossom in our bag from last week because it was below a gold. It was like 60 silver, 35 silver, something like that, and I was like, no, that ain't it. So I had tried to post it for a little bit higher. I think I was posting it for like a gold something, and it returned every time. So I was like, alright. It just felt so damn low that I couldn't do it that low. I mean, I probably still would have made money on it because vendoring a stack at 200 is 10 silver, so. Alright, so we are fully rested, so we're getting 2,200 XP per gather. And we're currently 26% in. Trying not to touch the water. The water is lava. Not really. The water buffs you. If you touch the water, you gotta get that buff off right away. Did not come across any buffy water out in the Dragonflight zones thus far. So that's good. That's something. Alright, so those back couple didn't respawn yet. Be careful around here, because sometimes these things turn hostile. And there's a lot of them when they do it, so I've had them aggro on other characters that were just kind of standing nearby. So watch out for that. What are we? 27%. Alright, let's see if... Oh, can we get this? I think I've gotten this one before. that one's gonna stay though. Cause, yeah, that's over there. What we got over here? Anything? Got this guy. Alright, what do we got up here? Anybody? Yes. Oh, two things. Get that one. What's the other one? Oh, it's a rich one. Ugh. Alright, that one scared me. I was not expecting him to be there. Right, so, note to self, there's hostels over that way. So we need to be mindful of that. Alright. Let's see, what's... I don't know about getting that one. I've never really ventured that far up over there. So I kinda don't want to on a live challenger. I mean, I know I really wasn't expecting much to come of this one, and I was just kinda doing it to make the money. But it doesn't mean I want to intentionally get my ass into trouble over something, so. Alright, so we're up to 30%. So what? We're sitting at 30 selenium, and that's nice. I'm not helping you. And lace straight. It's lace straight. Oh, there's that one that keeps tormenting me. Come pick me. I'm not close to a hostile mob. No. Ignore that red flying thing. No thanks. Oh. You ever hit a smell that just reminds you of something? And not in a good way? I don't know what the hell my mom is making for dinner. For her and my dad. But it reminds me of the smell of a cafeteria. Not like any specific cafeteria? Well, maybe the one cafeteria at the courthouse. So I don't know what the fuck she's making. But damn. Although there's a couple soups that my dad eats that are really stonky. That I just can't for the life of me figure out how he can actually eat them. I want that, but these guys... they feel like that would be risking it. And there's other nodes elsewhere that are a bit safer. I see you. Where are you? Oh, you're behind me. Okay. I don't normally double back, but in this case, since we're just gathering, that's fine. So it's Thursday for me. What are you guys doing for this weekend? Anything? Anybody make any plans yet? I've got to live vicariously through you guys because we don't do shit. We don't have the money to do anything, number one. And Number two, we can't really go anywhere because we got to keep an eye on my parents. And the mother-in-law's still away. She hasn't come back yet. She was supposed to come back in a couple of days, but her and her sister have been traveling around in an RV, and they've been up in their home state. And they haven't had the gas money to come down yet, or to come back. They were supposed to be coming back for winter. I don't know what the hell they're doing now. Because I thought I was going to have to go on a cleaning binge this weekend, but we've not heard anything coming from them recently indicative of them following through with any sort of plan. Tell you though, I could fucking use a vacation so bad. When's the last time we went on a vacation? Like an actual vacation? Was 2018. And it was like a half vacation because my mother-in-law came with us because we brought the dogs with us, so she was kind of our dog handler. So we couldn't leave the dogs at home. And we couldn't leave them in the hotel room for any lengthy period of time because they've got some kind of weird ass. What's wrong?
Not nice. I've got a Harp's remover.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't expecting him to leave suddenly. They have like separation anxiety from us, and they will start to howl, even if somebody else is with them. Or they just don't like my parents that much. I don't know. They don't seem to howl that much with the mother-in-law. But, when we leave them with my parents, they tend to howl. Even if we're only gone like 10 minutes. We just ran down to the store at the corner. I'm like, guys, we said we'd be right fucking back. You've got to relax. But, yeah, so somebody had to be with them because we couldn't leave them alone in the hotel room. Although one good thing about where we went was there was a decent number of places that were dog friendly. A decent number of restaurants where we could sit outside with the dogs. And the weather was the right time of year where you could sit outside. It wasn't cold or raining or anything, so we lucked out on that. But it was still, it felt like a working vacation, wrangling those guys and worrying about who was staying with them when and stuff, so. The last time the two of us went on a vacation, like an actual vacation alone, was probably our honeymoon. Which would have been, what? 15 years ago? I think? 14? When the fuck did we get married? We got married 6, 8. We got married in 2007. So, and I don't really count the road trips that we had to go and move my dad from New Jersey twice, and then my mom. Because those, we were on a sort of a time schedule, and we were in the car. It was car, rest stops, snacks, rest stops, gas, hotel, repeat. Like, we didn't really stop anywhere to look at anything or do anything. It was just straight driving, unless we were stretching our legs, so I don't really count those, because being in the car for us that many hours was just, it was tedious, nonstop. So we were driving 6 to 8 hours a day, depending on how the husband felt with his anxiety. And it was stressful, especially on the days that he was having a bad day and we had to stop and sit for a couple of hours at a gas station or whatever while he tried to take a nap to try to reset his nerves and things. So but we did have a fairly decent time when we went to Florida. We weren't pushing that trip though, so we only drove like 6 hours a day. He probably could have driven more, but we had the dogs with us, so their tolerance for being in the car wasn't as great as ours, even though they were small guys. They wanted to get out and roam, and we gave them some time at the rest stops when we could. Let them walk and smell and do all the things and try to get them a little bit tired so they weren't too rambunctious in the car. But there was a couple of times where we had to make an emergency exit where the dogs were like, I have to potty. And I'm like, you couldn't have done that when we were at the rest stop like 15 minutes ago? No, I have to potty now. Okay. Right. But, maybe if we end up getting his disability sorted, if he gets approved, we can try to schedule a mental health weekend at the very least. Maybe up in Missouri or Oklahoma or something nearby. But that's going to require the mother-in-law to be back in town, so that's easier said than done. So we need someone here to keep an eye on the parents. Well, my parents. It's a long story, but my parents and his mom and us are all living in the same house. Long story, but yeah, him and I really would just like just a weekend, at least. I'll do 2 days midweek somewhere, that's fine. Doesn't have to be specifically the weekend. In fact, we prefer midweek because it's usually not as busy because most people are working. But now we've got holiday seasons coming up, right? So, and I'm the one that cooks for everybody, so now I'm a little concerned about how many people I'm actually going to have to be cooking for. Because I don't know if the mother-in-law and her sister are going to be back down here yet. Because they were talking about setting up the sister-in-law, or no, the mother-in-law's sister was talking about they were going to park their RV in our backyard for winter, and I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And I'm just like, no, let's not do that. So, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to be here for Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'm going to have to feed them for Thanksgiving. I don't know if they're going to be here for Christmas, or if I need to feed them for Christmas. So, you know. I mean, Thanksgiving's my more immediate concern. Really, between all of them. Because we're gonna have to start... Animals, what are you doing? Don't be knocking the stuff over. We're gonna have to start buying stuff to put it in the freezer soon. So that way we have it. Everything okay? Okay. So it's always a three-ring circus around here with trying to get shit done and sorted and planned. And there's a motorcycle. Sorry, like I said earlier, we have the window open. And we live like, I don't know, between 10 and 20 feet from the main road that goes through town. So it's pretty heavily trafficked. Where are we? We are 52% through the level. Where is it? Oh, there's the one. Okay. Oh, I got my left and rights mixed up again. I saw it on the map and I thought it was in the other direction. I was like, that's strange. I've never seen two over there. That's because you're looking at the wrong side of the road, dummy. Alright, well, that was a nice cluster there. That was very good. Alright. So. But right now I've been preoccupied with getting some art projects planned. The stuff that's in the Etsy shop currently is going to be coming down soon. Very soon. I can't remember the date that it's coming down. Because I don't have stuff set for automatic renewal. So when that comes down, I'm going to have to take a look at what we've got up there. There's I might be doing a bundle. I might be doing a set of 3 on the magnets for the holiday season. I think they're coming down October 4th or 14th. I feel like I really want that one, but that Larian's awfully close. So yeah, I think what's up there now is either coming down the 4th or 14th. Like I said, I can't completely remember. It's soon. And then I hope to have 2 new items going up with it. The flamingo stained glass will be going up. And our latest needle felting project will be going up. I haven't decided if we're gonna try to sell the gingerbread house. It's gonna be a bitch to ship though. 'Cause that box is gonna have to be a little bit tall. How the fuck am I gonna ship that? Sorry, I'm trying to figure out if we do ship the gingerbread house, how I'm gonna ship it to keep the sides from crushing in. We still have some pool noodles, so maybe if we tape those to the corner of the box. I don't know. We have to see what kind of disaster it looks like when it comes together, because I have an image in my head, but that doesn't always mean that's what it's going to come out looking like. I was originally going to do the fairy lights on the tree, but I've been having trouble finding them. And I don't think you can ship batteries through the mail, so it would either have to be a plug-in situation or something that you can get batteries for. I don't know, maybe that's just international where batteries can't go through the mail. I don't know. I'd probably just be like, batteries not included anyway. Just for ass coverage. I don't offer free shipping right now because I don't have the money to do free shipping right now. Nothing in the shop is really that expensive at the moment. I've actually underpriced everything. A fair amount. And some stuff I have reduced the price on. But sometime in October we'll probably have a couple new pieces going up. So if you've had your eye on something that you want for Christmas, I would order it, excuse me, as soon as you can, because, you know, shipping's probably going to be slow this holiday season. And I am only doing US shipments right now. If you are international and want something, message me and maybe we can work something out. Because, you know, I was willing to ship, like, to the UK and all, and then they instituted those new tariff things, and I don't want to fuck something up on somebody's order, so I got nervous about it, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe we'll just do US shipping for now. So we'll see. But you would have to pay for shipping 100% on international. 100%. Sorry. Like I said, my ass is broke. So where's this? There it is. Can I get to it? We can. Okay, so we are 61% through. And like I said, I know I can kill stuff on this character. I just have been super nervous to do so. Especially out here. I mean, we could have gone to Brewfest. I mean, we still probably could. But that's another thing. Don't forget, Brewfest is running. Bloodthirsties, you can't participate because it's all questy stuff. But everybody else can. You know, just if you're on a pacifist, be careful about other people killing shit near you, or, you know, being there during the times that the brawls happen. If you're there when a brawl breaks out, try to get on a flying mount, get up in the air and get away. You should still be able to grab the quest from whatever the object is that shows up after the brawl. Just make sure that all the killing's done before you swoop in to try to do that, to avoid any prox kill risks. And, you know, Be careful. Where is... Oh, there you are. It's like, I don't see you. Oh man, that one feels so close. It was probably a safe distance, but you never know, man, when some of these mobs decide to come at you when you're gathering stuff. I've had that happen before. Where that particular mob has decided that they are that node's guardian. Crazy. Absolutely craziness. Alright, I think we can grab that one. The other one, though, I'm gonna skip that one. Alright, so we are up to 65% now. For our little unspec'd priesty. I know I haven't chosen a class specialization, and that's gonna stay that way. Oh, hey. Can I get this? Looks like we can. Yeah, I'd love for us to be able to go back to Key West for one of our wedding anniversaries, but since we got married down there. But I'll tell you, it's fucking bitch to try to find a hotel room that we're willing to pay for lately. I've been looking. They're either astronomically high or booked solid, and I'm just like, dear God, why? And then I remembered we got married during Pride Week, and it's become much more popular since then. So it's the one downside to getting married during a festival or an event. We didn't even know that that was happening that week either. Like, I didn't realize it when we were scheduling and booking things. Because hotel prices seemed pretty tame at that point, so I was like, it wasn't like they were really high where I was like, what's going on? And thought to check the event calendar. But it's crazy how every place was booked solid. I think there might have been a tiny handful of vacation rentals. I didn't really want to go vacation rental, though. I wanted to go actual hotel. I mean, technically the last place we stayed at was a vacation rental, but it was run by one of the bed and breakfasts, so it still had a hotel feel to it. And I didn't feel like they were suddenly we were gonna get there and then be like, oh yeah, no, what do you mean this week? It's not this week. And be like, oh, the fuck it is. So, and we went with them because they were pet friendly. But the next time we manage to go, we probably won't have the doggos, or we won't have the doggos with us. Not probably, we won't. So it's gonna be, damn it, I'm trying to do this one-handed. There we go. Got stuck on the rock. But, it's gonna be some time before we can go anywhere anyhow. We'll probably be doing like a weekend zoo trip before we manage to pull that off. And even the weekend zoo trip is gonna be probably at least a couple of years before we can do that. Because even that we need to have the mother-in-law in town for. But there's a couple zoos up in Missouri that seem interesting. There's a zoo in Kansas? Nebraska? Kansas? One of them that looks interesting. That would be more of like a 3-day trip though, probably. But, all of this is hypothetical, of course. Wait, what was that? I saw it. Oh, that was probably over there in Hostel Fox Central. Alright, I want to grab you. It's like, we've got 2 zoos that are within 2-ish hours of us, maybe 2.5 hours. And they're both out of state, so the closest in-state zoo to us is in Little Rock, and that's like a 4.5-hour drive. And it's not fun driving around Little Rock on the interstate. We've had a couple of incidents doing so. So I'm not a fan. Not too thrilled about having to go through that section. But 4 hours seems a little much to do just that and then drive back home. Like, that's a long day. So I don't know. I think I'd rather go to the one or a couple of the ones in Missouri that are actually closer to us from where we're located. Heard some things about a couple of the ones in Texas. We've never been to Texas. No, that's a lie. I was in Texas once for 3 hours? 2 hours? I had a layover, so I was in the Dallas-Fort Worth airport. But that was it. That's the extent of me being in Texas. And that was an experience. Because I was flying from New Jersey to here, to Arkansas. And there was no direct route from the airport that I left from. And I had to fly from where I was in New Jersey, South Jersey, to Cincinnati, Ohio. Then from there, they took me to Dallas-Fort Worth, which went right over the airport I needed to go to, ironically enough. And then from Dallas-Fort Worth, I had to fly back over the state and into here. So it made no sense to my brain. It's just like, okay. Just those flights weren't going right where I needed to go. But that was a long day too. And when I flew into Dallas, I was like in a normal airport gate situation. To fly out of Dallas, I was not. I remember I had to walk through so many damn hallways to get to my next gate that I was starting to wonder if I was in the right place because there were so few people in that area. And I was starting to have like a small panic attack over this because I was by myself. I was like, what is even happening? And then I started to see ground level lines, like not people standing in the line, but set up like on the ground instead of like up in the air jetways, like the jet bridges. These were on the ground and they were like covered with like plastic tent tarp roofs and sidings, and I'm just like, what in the fresh hell is this? And I think this was the first time I'd flown by myself, number one. And I was not expecting this because I had never been to this airport ever. And I was so confused. And I had nobody with me. And I'm just like, what the fuck's going on? And then I'm like, oh wait, what size plane is this? Because I was beginning to think I was going to be like on a prop plane that was like 10 seats or something because of the way that they were having the section of the airport that we were in. I don't know if it was under renovation or what, or I don't know what the fuck was going on. And but no, they had us walk outside under these little canopy things, and then we had to go up the stairs to get on the plane. It was like a 19, it wasn't a prop plane, it was a jet plane, but I guess it would be considered like a commuter jet because it was like maybe 18 rows, 19 rows, something like that. It was a smaller jet, or it's like 2 seats on each side. But yeah, that was getting kind of late in the evening, so my nerves were shot. I think by time I got into Arkansas, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. That particular trip. I flew down here twice, I think. And so long ago, I'm having trouble remembering. I tried to block it out because it was not a fun trip. And turned out the airport I flew into was almost, or felt like it was almost, an hour from where the then fiance, now husband, was living. So then it was even more traveling, and I was just like, I just want food and I want to not move because I'm starving and I have a headache. That was a very stressful day. And I think that was the trip I kind of got thrown into meeting a good portion of the now husband's family. I think it was that trip. Yeah, you know what, it was that trip, because the trip after that I had come down for the husband's birthday, and they had just bought, they hadn't just bought, but they had recently got this house that we're in now, and I was painting one of the walls in his room. So, that took up most of the week. I don't think they had fully moved in yet. I don't know, something weird was with it because had you guys fully moved in when the car hit the house?
Oh yeah.
Oh no, that's right. Yeah, because we did sleep here, didn't we? I don't know, for some reason I thought we weren't. I thought that was.
We had a house by then.
I thought that was the trip I painted. The second trip. For some reason I thought I remembered us leaving and coming back. I don't know. Memories get blurry. I don't think I was here that many days for that trip, though. Unless I have my trips confused, which is entirely possible. But I don't think I painted the first trip. I think you were... No, you were still in the apartment my first trip down here.
What's that, dear?
You were still in the apartment my first trip down here.
Yes.
Because I remembered walking over.
Yet. Like we were in the process of moving in.
That might be the trip I'm confusing. Because I remember...
Yeah, I think so.
I remember walking over to... You kept saying we were going to go to Walmart. We were going to go to Walmart. And I'm like, okay. And then when we walked over, it was a grocery store. And I was like, this isn't Walmart. What the fuck are you talking about? Walmart's like clothes and shit. And you're like, no, down here they have separate grocery stores. And I was like, that's dumb. So, we didn't have that up in New Jersey. It was just like a super center. But even the super centers didn't have food in them at the time. It was just like clothes and house goods and stuff. So I had been so confused when he kept saying, no, we're gonna go get food at Walmart. And I'm like snack food? Like, it wasn't clicking, and he had been used to it, I guess, at that point. So I'm just like, this doesn't make sense to me. I felt like I was in a foreign land. Like, I didn't understand why we were going to Walmart for food, because Walmart didn't have food. They just had, like, crackers and junk food, and I was like, what? And then he introduced me to the land of all of the different types of Walmarts, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well then. That's different. It astonishes me that you can be hovering off the ground on a flying mount and click a mining node and it will dismount you and let you start mining. But if you're hovering just off the ground over a flower node and try to pick it, it won't let you. It doesn't dismount you and let you start picking it. Like, I don't understand why they let you do it for mining and not for flower picking. Doesn't make sense to me. So we've almost picked up 200 Death Blossom. I think I was at 163 before we got started today. So now it's 149. We've got almost 200 Rising Glory. The Rising Glory is going to sell almost immediately, depending on the price we put it up for. I know you've received reports, ma'am, but I've told you before I'm not helping you. Thanks. I am not your gnome. Sorry. Good day, madam. Oh, there's one we can get. Got 2 bars to go. It's a little over an hour. Not terrible. All things considered. Our Shadowlands mining has increased to 116. What's the max on it, anyway? 150. Okay. Oh, so the mining journal looks completely different. Also, I'll probably take some screenshots of that. I had some, but then I deleted them. There's also an herbing journal, which I thought was interesting. So, like this, yeah. So, this has a lot more information on it, too. For Shadowlands. I mean, for Dragonflight, excuse me. It looks a bit different than the way it does now. Oh, sinuses. Sorry, I'm snuffly. I was rather snuffled when I woke up this morning. And that was with the air conditioning running last night. I don't think I went outside yesterday. I think the husband took the dogs out yesterday. I tried to get the one dog, but when I brought the leash out, he like flopped down in his bed, and I was like, oh, alright. That's how we're gonna do. Because we have puppy pads down that we've taught them to potty on with our weird ass sleep schedule. So when we're awake, the one's like, hey, I want to go potty. And we're like, okay. And the other one, if he thinks it's too hot out, he's like, fuck it. They're old, though. I'm not sure if they're considered seniors yet. Probably. Or getting close to it. Their faces are all starting to go gray and stuff. Or at least the one more than the other. I think they may have just had a birthday. I always lose track of that. I'll have to look on Facebook because I posted their photo the day we got them. I think we got them in like an October-ish, November-ish time frame. They were like just old enough to leave mom. So I would imagine if we got them around October, they were probably born the end of August or something. Middle of August. Getting a fair amount of nightshade here. Not tremendously exuberant, but a fair amount. To 15. And we've officially crossed into a full 200 on the Rising Glory. So that's not too bad. Next week I'll try to get a little bit of of gathering done on this one before stream. Because I think these last 2 levels will probably hedge closer to probably an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes of rested gathering. Still not bad. I mean, unrested's not bad either. At this stage in the game, unrested level of straight gathering would probably be maybe 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Something like that. I think the last level took me on an unrested pacifist about 3 hours. And even that's not that bad. Not really. Alright, we just need a couple of more nodes here. Alright, so tomorrow, schedule. Stream schedule list of the week. There it is. Tomorrow will be Planet Zoo. We'll be getting back to our entrance. We've got a bit more landscaping to do on that one side. Still have to figure out what I want to do with the entrance building there. I don't know. I was thinking of maybe doing like maybe a castle-y wall feel, maybe like a ruin outpost check-in point. I don't know. I gotta see. I gotta see what mood strikes me. Some sort of stone jungly building might end up being what it looks like. Oh, there's our ding. So, what did we get? Power infusion. Okay, well, I'll tuck you over there. And Saturday, there is no Well Challenges podcast live, show this week, live or otherwise. Lita's taking this weekend off to try to fully recover from having pneumonia, which means it's a vacation Saturday for me too, from doing post-production podcast stuff. There's a lot of stuff that I do behind the scenes to get the posts ready for the show and get it to where it needs to be and all that stuff. I don't do all of it, but I do the bulk of it. Lita edits the audio, and I think she gets it ready for the MP3 stuff where that needs to go, and then I handle all of the blog posts and everything else. So that's a weekend off for me too, so yay. I don't know if we're doing anything streaming wise this weekend. I might just take the day off and have it a full day off. I'll probably be doing art stream prep for Sunday. And then Sunday and Monday we're going to start planning out our gingerbread project on paper, and getting our dimensions worked out and measured out for the gingerbread house itself, and probably transferring that over to our felt after we make a template and get that all sorted. And that will probably only take on Sunday, so then on Monday we might actually start felting the walls of the house itself. I'm gonna need to fluff some more brown for that, so I need to remember to do that between now and then. Yeah, and then next Thursday we'll be back with this. So, and we've got 2 more levels to go on the Bloodthirsty and the Working Man. So yeah, that'll be all sorts of fascinating. And then the next Saturday, not this Saturday, next Saturday, October 1st, Azzy's going to be on the podcast. So and I'll be on co-hosting with Lita that week. So I hope you guys aren't completely sick of me yet, because I'm going to be on the show a couple of weeks in a row. So I'm going to be there co-hosting for Azzy's show, and then the following week I'm not. I believe Chris is going to be co-hosting that week, or at least that's the plan right now. And then I will be back co-hosting the 2 weeks after that, as we talk more about beta and the UI show and stuff. So got all that fun stuff coming up. It's going to be a whirlwind of a couple of weeks here. So let's see here. We're Working Man Soul Blister Unspect Priest. Dings level 58. We're looking at a slash played of 2 days, 16 hours, 30 minutes, and 29 seconds. I have to see when she hit level 10. I actually don't remember. Because slash played and real world timestamp are very different. Yeah, so she doesn't really have any kills to really boast about. Let me see. When did she hit? When did she hit level 10? In May. Okay. So she's been kicking around for a little bit. Okay, so she hit 50 the end of July. That goes to an account-wide achievement to someone else. I think probably my hunter. That's a normal because of the date going back to 20. So alright, you guys, that's gonna do it for today. Let's see, is there anybody? Not really anybody on my list for us to go follow, so we'll just call it a day here. Good luck with your challengers. Stay safe. Those of you that can enjoy Brewfest, go ahead. The update articles on the website for your challenge needs. If you have access to PTR or beta and want to do a playthrough of the Evokers as Iron, or, you know, a class that needs to be in white or gray gear, or naked until they get those gear options, by all means, let me know your thoughts on it. You can DM me on Twitter at NiseyBGN, or you could message me in the WoW Challenges Discord as well. I would private message me that, though. You should be able to send me a message on there. I'm the only mod in the WoW Challenges Discord named Nisey, so I'm easy to find. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna go make dinner. I am hungry. So you guys have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the likes, the follows, the retweets, all that. And don't forget the socially things down below, the YouTube channel, the Etsy shop, the Kofi, the Twitter, you know, all the things, the Insta. And I will see you guys tomorrow for Planet Zoo landscaping fun. So have a good night.